Hello everybody and welcome back to WoW Mods. As you can see, this week we're back and we're in Undercity. And as to be expected, we're back. I was going to show you this particular part of the city a couple of weeks back, but I wanted some time to work on it. Now, I have worked some on it, but I have also been working on other things as well, like taking a look at custom WMOs and working on the secret project and whatnot. So here we are. So before we... Oh, look at that. I also figured out what the lagging is. The lagging is my setup for recording. Apparently, it's not all that optimal anymore. So I need to figure out. I've got some different alternatives to that. So I hope you'll excuse the lagging this time around. Hopefully for next session I'll have it all sorted out and I'll have a new workflow in place. So here, of course, we've got the Lordaeron Capital Chapel, which we had seen before, just this corner. What we hadn't seen before was this stretch of this particular corridor, but I'm not sure if we're gonna go ahead and look through this way. I think we're just gonna go around through the other section, and I can take you around. Wow, this is laggy. For those of you who are wondering why this is lagging so much, I've used Fraps for about the longest time in the world, and the thing is, it's like I barely use it for anything else. But I had always tweaked it for recordings, and it's just starting to show its age. I do have another software which is open. It's not OCD. Anyways, that's not important. But yeah, so here we are. We have here the statue of King Tyrannus, which was done by Krysic. He's got the sort of improved version. This is just sort of like a stand-in where you can see a bit of the polygons, but that'll be smoothed out, and it will actually be a two-sided texture, which will make it look a lot neater. Here we have just some sort of general rest area. I'm gonna put some paintings, some undead paintings in the wall. Obviously, with the big Tauren guy, that it looks a little bit small. There we have got the only denizen right now that I've tested, as well as some stalls, which will later be filled in with knickknacks and doodads and whatnot. Same goes for what's here right now. Again, we'll fill that in a bit more. There's a particular part of this side of the city which I still haven't finished, which is this area around the back. Still not 100% sure of what I'm going to be doing there. Here, eventually, we will have... Actually, I'm going to zoom all the way in. We're going to have some trainees just fighting against these things, and that should prove interesting. Here, we're going to have some other type of quarters. What else? Well, let's move on through here, and this will... It just continues being sort of more interesting parts of the city. Again, like I said, this back part there is not developed. Here will be some, just another shop to be dealt with, as well as some of the homes that we have there. And just, this is the undead version, so obviously people have been buried haphazardly anywhere, but that wouldn't be there in the living version of the city as well. We turn here, of course, and we've got a bit more, homes. We've got this park, this sort of like roundabout / plaza, more statue. There's going to be more versions of statues, as I understand it, that Krysic is going to be making available. So that's going to be pretty great. And now, when we walk into this area was not finished before. It's got sort of like the first pass, and again, just some stand-in elements for what's coming in afterwards. And this is what I'm going to call sort of like the Horde Quarter. It's going to be a place where the rest of the Horde races is sort of like their diplomatic area. Yeah, so just currently not much, except from just the standard sort of like knickknacks and furniture. The idea behind this area is that we'll have areas that will be sort of like orc themed, then we'll have like a Tauren theme, and then we'll have troll themed. So this is where the any sort of like horde race that comes to the Undercity and doesn't want to go like deep into the sewers and feel uncomfortable, they will come to this particular quarter, and they'll feel a little bit more at home. So that's this particular area here, the Horde Quarter. And it's going to be interesting. I think I'm going to enjoy decorating that and making it a little bit more interesting. We're going to go. Oh boy, this is really lagging. I really need to make that upgrade for the next recording. And I also have to show you the behind area as well as the cemetery, and the areas around the main palace need to be taken care of. And now we are coming into, I think this is going to be sort of the market area. So we will have some more tables, some more vendors, possibly an auction NPC when that's like figured out, as well as other NPCs selling stuff. And yeah, that's really what this particular area. Behind this, of course, is the barracks, which you can see that, and that becomes a little bit more interesting. So I really like this particular square area. It sort of like came together a bit organically. I didn't really overly design it too much. But yeah, I think it's looking pretty sweet. And now, moving towards the very back of the city is an area that I don't think any of us would be surprised to find. And this is what I'm sort of calling the plague stockpile, or the plague quarter. And this is where Sylvanas is obviously stocking up and developing plague weaponry. It'll probably have more of a restricted feel to it, but as you can see, it's pretty nasty. You've got the catapults loaded with the new plague options. You've got the plague carts. You've got areas where people, where the sort of Sylvanas's apothecaries will be hard at work, trying to produce more plague. And the backstory of this area is that this would have been the granary section of the city, so where the grains would store and food for the capital city. And now it's just it's just the area where to spread more of the plague and to create more undead. So that's this end part. Again, this one, maybe it's a little bit more developed, maybe a little bit closer to the end. It's a little bit rougher because it's obviously contaminated and there's like dents in the floor. There might be details in the texturing. As you can see, some of the textures move. I might probably will do a second pass in it, and we'll see how that works out particularly. Through there, a little chunk that you haven't seen, which is the stables. If you go around this way, you'll come into contact with the barracks and the other areas of the city that you've already seen. So that's fine, and that's where we're standing right now with the Undercity. I'm sort of happy to have this really plague-heavy area of the city, because the other bit is still, it feels more like abandoned and occupied by the Forsaken, whereas the other one, it seems like it's actively oozing and gooing up. But I didn't want the entire city to be like that. I wanted the city to have the aesthetic that it has right now. And I'm plenty happy with it. And I think that once we get the NPCs set up and we've got a little bit more functionality, the top of the city, of the entire city, is going to feel pretty great, I think. So, having said that, that's what I have for all of you this week. More work will continue. I don't know what I'm going to be showing you all next week. Like I said, I'm working on several things, working on the secret project, which I think if I had to explain or clarify a bit about that, I said it's not something that you haven't seen before. You have seen it before on the channel. It was something that I wasn't necessarily happy with entirely, so I decided to go ahead and just give it another go and really go hog wild with it. And so hopefully you will see that secret project, which I'm not telling you what it is exactly, and it'll be impressive, hopefully. But in any case, I think we'll leave it at that. So until next week, everybody, take it easy, and bye-bye.